Good afternoon, everyone. Can I share screen?
Okay, I see it.
Okay. Okay. This is my paper present today about biography of Phra Ajarn sketchbook. It is come from my thesis about traditional craftsmanship school in Phetchaburi around 1870 to 1860 in Phetchaburi that we call the revival of the craftsmanship in Phetchaburi, because in the city center of Phetchaburi have a lot of artwork in this period. Is involved with the growth of the rice market in Lama Fifth regime. So I have to collect the data about the craftsmanship, and Phra Ajarn is the one very well known in Phetchaburi because he is among in the art school in a big temple, Wat Kok. He is the student of Phra Ajarn, the abbot of Wat Kok in that period. He learned to study drawing and wooden carving. So I have to go to his home at Ban Po Phra in Mueang Phetchaburi, and I have to collect data about him, and I see some evidence about his sketchbook from his home. So it to the present for this paper. Yeah. This article reports the discovery of early evidence related to the Phetchaburi craftsmanship culture. It consists of sketchbook and memo of craftsmanship of monk Phra Ajarn. His last name is Lamun Mak Panyavutto, who lived between 1912 to 2005. This evidence is like a mirror reflecting the culture of learning craftsmanship in Phetchaburi in the second half of the 25th Buddhist century, through the creation of stories connected to the contextual evidence and the socio-cultural context that these sketchbooks are based on. So this is Phra Ajarn Panyavutto. He is a monk from Wat Po Phra Nai, Mueang Phetchaburi. He is student of Phra Ajarn Wat Kok, and after Phra Ajarn died, he go to Wat Pasong to study about writing and drawing with Phra Ajarn Pao. In Phetchaburi, we have 5 schools of art in the big temple in city center, like Wat Phra Phachai, Wat Yang, Wat Yai Suvarnaram, Wat Pasong, and Wat Kok. We have a lot of artwork in this period, like and have a well-known craftsman, local craftsman like Kulet Phung Phadet, Pu Pin In Phá Sẻng, Nai Leng Choi Suwan, for instance. Yes. And this period of art period in this time, reconsidering the lifespan related to his craftsmanship probably overlapped with the late era of the artisanal development that has been revived in Phetchaburi. This part relates to the dramatic economic growth of Phetchaburi in the same period because of the rice market is very boom. So people in the city center have to making their status, so they have to share to make merit by created the artwork for the temple. So I have called this period is like a bourgeoisie patronage period, because who patronized this artwork in this period is like a bourgeoisie, because they are free from the feudal system at that time. We have evident a lot like a stucco, wooden carving, paintings, wooden crematories, and pavilions in this time. Yes, and this example of the artwork in this period. In the left is the cabinet with the wooden carving by Leng Choi Suban. He is the Wat Kok local art school, and In the second is we call Pitching Canopy in Wat Chi Pasert in 1920 by Nai Tu. And this is the painting in the pavilions at Wat Ko in 1920. Is the story about Pathom Pasom Pothikatha. We have found a lot in Phetchaburi. And this is the stucco. In the same period, 1920, with the local craftsmen who very well known, Kru Pao Bamlung Put. So when I collect my data with the craftsmen, I see the sketchbook of Phra Ajarn, 3 sketchbook with like the diary of his life. He liked to write everything in the diary, and this sketchbook is very distinct, evident for me because we will see the learning culture of the craftsmanship in that period from this sketchbook. The sketchbooks are about writing different patterns in each time period. We will know the pattern that's widespread in that period. The pattern that's very popular in that time. It is an important part showing the life of his craftsmanship, which can be divided into 3 main periods: in the first period, the middle period, and the last period. And from reviewing of our 3 sketchbooks here, it was found that they were revised in different agenda. So this different agenda, in the first time, he had to like practice when he was a monk in with 14 years old in Wat Ko. He used this sketchbook like for teaching, for practicing the drawing with Phra Ajarn, and then when he was an old age, he get to correct this sketchbook, 3 book, and manage is for have to like he want to use it as a manual for the craftsmanship in the next generation. So my problem when I have to correct the data about the craftsman, I have no data a lot by the writing because other contemporary craftsmen who often did not leave a lot of story for later people to study. Phra Ajarn had a personality trait that liked to write down story about himself. He also followed the tradition of making sketchbook to record his own prototypes and craft learning pattern, which are intended to be used as a learning model for the future generation as well. The sketchbook, if we study a lot of artists in the world like Leonardo da Vinci, Giorgio Vasari, you will see the sketchbook of them. So Phra Ajarn too. And I think all of craftsmen have sketchbook too, but I have found just for Phra Ajarn and someone other. Evident in this set of Phra Ajarn sketchbooks help to show the way of learning local craftsmanship in the revival era of craftsmanship in Phetchaburi. And this is the sketchbook of him. I think in the first time is it is not in this system. When he has an old age, it's like 80 or 85, he correct this set book and set it to be like a menu for craftsmanship. And we will see 3 sketchbook in correction. He like to write everything in this. In the first one, when he was 14 at Wat Ko, his teacher, Phra Ajarn, drawing for him, and he imitated from his Phra Ajarn. And in the second one, when he was monk, he practiced by himself. And the first one is from the Phra Ajarn Pao Wat Phasong, his other teacher at Wat Phasong. He imitated from Phra Ajarn Pao too and practiced by himself in the second. We will see the pen write down with pen, because the first time is write down with the pencil. So we can trace the history of this sketchbook too. Yes, and this is the most important one in picture. This is called Ginari character of Thai patterns. He write down this pattern around 9 picture, and we will see development of his skill by get the scale, how to manage the character, how to manage the pattern, and we will see he write down a lot about this. Like he want to teach everyone who reads this sketchbook, and you will see this from his teacher, Phra Ajarn Pao, who estimate his skill. Yes, and it's the best picture for Phra Ajarn himself. He think is the best for him, completed. Yes. So after reviewing the sketchbook, I will see the nature of craftsmanship in that period. Under that period, which may be summarized as an important characteristic that common villagers, especially monks, could develop themselves to become craftsmen by creating a national familiarized with the craftsmanship that appear commonly in the local context, particularly in the temple that used to be source of both artisans and various craftworks together, so as to become a craftsman's skill that are embedded in the body. I call it like an embodied knowledge of the craftsman himself. This is example of Phra Ajarn artwork, the Buddha statue at Wat Po Pha Nai, and his knife for healing his mother. And the last one is a coffin he made by himself for his mother. And he will see the crematory, Phra Ajarn made by himself, drawing and wooden carving, everything for 1 year for his mother in the funeral. And it is the only one his student, like his neighbor, when he was a child, he lived with Phra Ajarn at the pavilion in Wat Po Pha Nai. It's called Pi Meng, Pishan Po Yun. He carving the letter to buy some craft work today. And in the conclusion, I think the embodied knowledge about Phra Ajarn sketchbook, I have to, after the reviewing of the sketchbook and other part of evidence, I will understand the craftsmanship learning culture in Phetchaburi. Embodiment, in my paper, I will extend my paper with Moro Pongti and Buddhist about embodied knowledge. But in this time, Phra Ajarn sketchbook also show the effort of the artisan to another level, especially for those who have trained themselves by put themselves in craftsmanship culture. When you go to the local culture for the craftsman, he can look the teacher how to do, listen from the teacher and other craftsmen, and practice by himself, so he will have the experience and knowledge. And this is called embed in body. How to shape the knowledge by himself, how to learn, how to estimate his skill, how to transfer knowledge in a systematic way for training those who love craftsmanship in the next generation. This sketchbook, Phra Ajarn want to send it to his neighbor for the future. And okay, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chanan Mekmok. I think thanks for sharing your interesting presentation. And from your presentation, I think it is a kind of reminder. It reminds us that in Thailand, when we talk about arts and crafts, we would think of art and craft sponsored by the royal family. Yeah, but from your presentation, it showed that Thai art and crafts were also born out of local wisdom with the sponsorship by local bourgeoisie as well. Okay, the next one